Hey guys, it's Tark again with Cyclone FPV, and I was just here a second ago, so really no time passes when I finish the first video and go to this one. So now we're on part 3, okay? And remember, if you look at the screen here, this is where we left off. We have everything organized. We're in the firmware section of your SD card folder, right? So what we're going to do now is we're going to go back to our X9D main screen, okay? And we have our zip files in case we ever have to download them again, all right? Now we're going to go and we're going to get our radio ready by using OpenTX. So we're going to go down here to OpenTX. Go ahead and open it up. Okay, we've downloaded everything here, so we can click OK. All right, now's the fun part. Now we start working with the radio. So let's do a little bit of this. I'm going to actually swap screens here, just like that. All right, and here's what we're going to do. With your radio plugged in, all right, I've got mine on a little kickstand here, so it should give you a little better angle to read it. With your radio plugged in, I want you to hold your sliders here in, push them in towards each other. While you're holding them, press your power button, and then let go. You see where I'm at? I've already done the firmware on this, but we're doing it again anyway. But you're going to have an OpenTX bootloader on one part, and you're going to have an OpenTX, the firmware on the other part. We're going to show you how to update both of them right now. Even though I'm doing the same version, I'm just going to do it again so you guys can follow along, all right? Now, on your menu, it says write firmware, restore EEPROM, or exit. At this point, you want to go ahead and find your USB connection on the back right here, okay? And you're going to plug in your USB and watch what happens. First, you're going to hear, by the way, you're going to hear your Windows kick in, okay? Here it goes. That's your driver. That's your Windows telling you it found a driver. I'm going to use my kickstand so I can keep this from hitting it. See if you guys can watch it, okay? All right. Yeah, let's do it like that. That way it doesn't sit. Okay. Hopefully that doesn't get the light in your eyes too much. All right. It's connected, right? So now we're going to switch back, and we're going to go to our main screen here. All right. Verify that your model, that the model you're in is listed at the top. Okay, so sorry, I meant to tell you. When it reads your radio, it's going to open first the memory on board, which is that one, and then it's going to open that new volume, which I told you, I gave you instructions on how to create that in the SD card prep video number 3 of this original series, right? So I've left mine as new volume. Like I said, it's been formatted. It's at 16 megs, okay? So we're going to go ahead, 16 gigs, sorry, not megs. So we're going to go ahead and close this window. We want to get just back to here, all right? So again, make sure you're in the right radio profile. So look, X9D, my profile, I made it X9DPlus 2019. Make sure you're in the right profile, all right? Now that the radio's plugged in, the first thing we want to do here is, which is really cool, is we just want to go ahead and firmware it. We want to update it, right? So let's go ahead and tell it right here. You see this arrow? It says write firmware to radio. Let's click it. Now here's the part you got to be very, very careful. Remember, we downloaded that firmware and we put it in the OpenTX firmware folder that we created, right? Even if you think it's listed right here, just for giggles, let's just go ahead and find it. So click load, go to your desktop, transmitter, X9DPlus 2019, SD card, firmware, OpenTX firmware, and there it is. Click open. When this screen comes up, just for giggles, don't change anything. Make sure you have the files here. Everything else is fine. Leave this dot right here for now, but make sure you check hardware compatibility. All right? If all this looks good, go ahead and click Write TX. And here it goes. Okay? It's not going to take very long, right? But we're not done yet. And here's why. Now that you've written to the TX, the one thing that we still haven't done yet, and I'm going to show you. On your folder down here in the right, you know, your like Windows File Explorer, whatever it is, Windows Explorer, click that and click any one of them and look on the left side column here. You have your Tyrannis E. Don't ever touch that folder, please. That's actually the drive located. That's the memory on the board itself. What we're looking at is the new volume D. And if you look at mine, it's empty because I have not synchronized my folders. We set it up on the hard drive just a minute ago in the last video, right? We moved the folders and did everything. Now we need to tell the computer, hey, look, it's cool, but we need you to put all that onto the SD card on the radio so that when we unplug you, all those files are available. Here's how we're going to do it. So we're going to go back to OpenTX, and we're going to click this icon right here. All right, this is the synchronize icon. We're going to click it. And what we want to do first is we want to make sure we're aimed in the right direction from the right folder. So what we're going to do here is we're going to click our folder and do it anyway. I don't care if you think it's right. Just do it to make sure. Get used to the habit. Okay, go to desktop, go to transmitter, go to X9DPlus 2019, go to SD card, and as long as that folder down there says SD card, click select folder. Now, you may see a no radio or SD card detected because it doesn't know that your formatted SD card is where you want it to go. You're going to tell it right now. So under radio folder, right here, click that folder. Find your new volume. Do not click this one, please. New volume D, which is what we formatted. Click select folder. Don't worry about anything else. We're going to tell it to go both directions. We're going to tell it to do all of this. Don't worry about it. Just leave it and click start. And you're going to see 362 files start getting copied. Okay? Now here's how this works. It's going to look at the hard drive first, and it's going to write everything to the memory card. Okay? Then it's going to look at the memory card and see if you need to write anything back to the hard drive. All right? It goes both directions. So while you have 362 files, okay, you are going to be doing 724 total checks. Okay? So don't be surprised when it does that. My wife just pulled up and she brought lunch, so woo, we're about to get interrupted, but it's good food and I'm hungry. So I'm going to finish this part though here, guys, and then we're going to go, that should be close to almost a 10-minute video when we're done, and then I'm going to go chow down real quick, and then I'm going to come back and we're going to finish this, which you won't notice I'm going because the file will just be clicked to the next one. All right, so this is going to take a bit. Here she comes. Here she comes. Look at the big bag of food she's got. This is so cool. Look, here she is. Ah! I'm doing a video, but I told them you brought food, so I told them to watch you come in with food.
Are we going to eat soon?
Yeah, I'm finishing this up in just a minute. Oh, that means shut up, get off the video as soon as you can and come eat. So we'll do that in a minute. But I'm going to finish with you guys here on the memory card. Now watch your screen real quickly, okay? Because it's about to kick in really fast. Once it hits 362, it's going to automatically just check the other ones, right? So watch. Boom, done. So 362 files were created, 724 total files between the two. You did awesome. That's perfect. So here's what we're going to do now. I guess my dogs are now going to walk outside. So here's what we're going to do now. Now that we're done, watch what happens just for fun if we try to do it again. Watch how quick this goes. All it's doing is time stamping, right? Time stamping, file size, checking, and time stamping. Boom, nothing's changed. Click close. Done. We're done. Now what we want to do is eject the radio and be able to update our bootloader. So what we've done is we've updated the firmware on the radio. We still have a bootloader we need to update, okay? So, and as you can see on my radio here, it says there's a bootloader. Now mine's already been updated, but if you were to stop here, unplug it, and turn it back on, your firmware and your bootloader would be two different versions, and you don't want to do that, okay? So what we're going to do now is you're going to find your safely eject USB icon down at the bottom, and left click on it. Let me show you. Left click and eject. Whoops! Click on the first one and eject it. Left click on it again. Click on the second option, which is the new volume D. Do that as well. And if you left click on it again, now there's no devices left, at least not on my computer. Once that's good, pull your USB cable out, and we can now go back to the radio itself and nothing else. All right. Oops. Okay. So you're going to see I accidentally clicked the button here by accident when I was moving this. So you're going to now be at this screen here, right? What I want you to do is I want you to scroll to exit and hit enter. Okay? Now watch what happens here. Okay. So what a lot of you have experienced, and this is perfect, what a lot of you have experienced at this point is when your radio crashes. Okay? And that's what you're going to see. Look, my light is blue, right? It looks like it should be on. Check this out. I'm going to take out my battery. Okay? Now watch. Now, I'm going to plug it back in. Okay? I'm going to try to turn my radio on. And nothing works, right? What do? You can hear it, but nothing works. I never get to actually plan this, and I didn't plan for this to happen, but this is becoming such a common issue that I'm so glad it kind of happened, because I'm going to show you how to fix this real quick. Okay, so the first thing you're going to want to do if you have this problem, right, is unplug your battery, then plug it back in, and just leave your radio blank. Take your USB cable, and you're not going to push the sliders this time, okay? You're just going to take the cable, and you're going to plug it in the back. Aha! You hear Windows pick up, right? All right. Now what you're going to do, and I would show you this screen, but there's nothing that's going to come up right here, okay? Now what you're going to do is you're going to go back to your, let's do this here. You're going to go back to your OpenTX, right? And we're going to do a firmware upgrade again, but this time when you do a firmware upgrade and you don't have it on with in your bootloader mode, right, or DFU mode, whatever they call it, it actually writes to the bootloader now, right? So here goes. So actually, I think this is bootloader mode. And the other one is DFU, I think. So anyways, with it off, right, you'll see this it's probably blinking like mine is. Go back to the arrow over here, which is the, you'll see the icon come up. Come on. Right firmware radio, click it. Again, make sure you load the right firmware. I'm going to go through the whole step. Go to desktop, transmitter, X9DPlus, SDCard, firmware, OpenTX, 2.3.11. Double click it. And then just click right to TX. Now check this out. Even though your radio's off, it's still writing because now it's writing to the bootloader. The reason the radio wouldn't turn back on when we ejected the USB is because the bootloader, it's like it got bricked, okay? It happens, right? It happens a lot if you load the wrong firmware on your radio too. Now, we didn't load the wrong firmware this time. We did a hardware compatibility check, and that's why that's important. If you don't check that box and you load the wrong firmware, it will still force it through. With that box checked, if you try to load the wrong firmware, it's going to stop and say, this does not match your radio. We know we matched the radio because we didn't get that error. And plus I know because I know what firmware to load. So what we're going to do now is we're going to let this run real quick. Now, if you didn't get this error, okay, then I'm going to show you what to do had you not received what happened to my radio, okay? So just hang tight a second. It's only going to take a minute. So right now our bootloader is about to be updated, okay? But again, if your radio did turn on and you didn't have this hang, I'm going to show you what you would do next to update your bootloader, okay? So this is done. Click close. Go to your USB eject, safely eject button. Click it. It's done, okay? Now, you can remove your USB cable. And now you can click on your power. And look at that. You've just solved a problem that people are having more and more. And it's so easy. Okay? It says my switches aren't set, so let me go ahead and set those. My failsafe isn't set. We'll talk about that later. Just when you get to this screen, hit exit. Okay? Now check this out. I'm going to go ahead and put my battery back in and close the radio up real quickly. And then I'm going to show you what you would have done if those of you whose radios did start up normally but are still waiting to do your bootloader update. I'm going to show you what to do. So with that, I want you to go ahead and turn your radio on. Okay, now, again, this would be for those of you, sorry, let me, I realize now you're not seeing the screen there, so let me do this. Okay, so we're back where we need to be, right? So we're going to hit exit. For those of you, like I said, that the radio started fine, but you still need to do your bootloader, here's what you're going to do. Hold your menu button down, let it go when you see the screen pop up, click page, scroll to firmware, scroll to OpenTXFW. See how everything's organized? It makes it so much easier, okay? Scroll to 2.3.11, hold it down for a second, flash bootloader, click it. It's instant, right? It's done, and that's it. You would have just updated your bootloader then. So if your radio rebooted itself with no problem, you're able to turn it back on, then this is the next step. If not, we just did it when I showed you when it crashes or breaks, okay? All right, so I'm so glad that happened in this video because it shows you how easy it is to get out of it and people really panic. There's no need to panic, okay? All right, so guys, that pretty much does it for this section. And now we've got our radio updated properly. Now we're gonna come back as soon as we get done eating, and I'm gonna show you how to update all the components that we're about to update as well, okay, guys? Again, if you have any questions, please join our Facebook group and post your questions, and everybody there, including myself, will help you. And then, as always, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. I would greatly appreciate it. I'm off to go eat now. God bless. I hope you guys have a good lunch today. It is January 22nd. It is 2:08 p.m. And in 2 days, it is my son's birthday. Cannot wait, dude. See ya. Talk to you guys later. Peace.